Apple is back in the news again, and this time it's not just about new features or designs. Reports suggest that the upcoming iPhone 17 series might get more expensive. But here's the interesting part. Apple probably won't tell you the real reason. Instead of mentioning trade tariffs, they'll likely talk about new upgrades and changes to explain the higher prices. Right now, trade tensions between the US and China are still going on, even though there's a temporary break in some disputes. However, this break doesn't cover smartphones. There's still a 20% tariff on smartphones imported from China. A small temporary deal lowers that to 10%, but it's still a big extra cost for companies like Apple. To keep profits steady, Apple has been trying to cut production costs by pushing its suppliers to lower their prices. But according to a report from the Wall Street Journal, there's not much more room left for cuts. Suppliers are stretched thin, and now Apple may have no choice but to raise iPhone prices. And of course, they won't blame tariffs publicly. People familiar with Apple's supply chain say the company is being very careful about how they talk about this. The last thing Apple wants is to get caught up in political debates when it launches its new phone. So, they'll probably highlight new features and a fresh design to make the higher price seem worth it. As for what those new features might be, rumors suggest the iPhone 17 could come with a slimmer, more modern look. One version, possibly called the iPhone 17 Air, might be just 5.5mm thick. While that sounds cool, it could mean a smaller battery and shorter battery life. It's also expected that the iPhone 17 Air will replace the iPhone 16 Plus in this year's lineup. For comparison, iPhone 16 prices start at $799 and go up to $1,199 for the Pro Max. We don't know how much the iPhone 17 will cost yet, but even a small price jump could matter, especially since Apple controls most of the premium smartphone market. Meanwhile, Apple is working on moving some of its production out of China to avoid problems like tariffs. India is becoming a popular choice, and Apple already makes some iPhones there. But for the high-end Pro models, most production is still happening in China for now. Experts say that while Indian factories can make Pro iPhones, they're not as big or as fast as the Chinese factories yet. That's why most of the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max models will still be made in China this year. Apple is in a tough spot. If tariffs go higher, it'll hurt profits even more. Moving production to India or Vietnam could save money later, but building up those factories takes time. According to a report from investment bank Jefferies, Apple sold about 65 million iPhones in the US last year. Around 36 to 39 million of those were Pro or Pro Max models, so if prices go up, a lot of people will feel it. Adding to the drama, other big companies like Amazon have been accused of adding extra charges because of tariffs. Amazon denied it, but the talk about tariffs and pricing continues. Apple seems determined to avoid that conversation entirely. Instead, they'll likely promote design changes, better cameras, and other improvements to explain the higher prices. For example, the new Pro models are rumored to get a redesigned camera bump, possibly with big hardware upgrades. In the end, it's looking more likely that iPhone 17 models will cost more. Whether it's for new looks, thinner designs, or keeping profits up, Apple seems ready to make this move without mentioning tariffs. And while Apple is shifting some production to India, don't expect to see iPads or MacBooks made there anytime soon. Right now, only certain iPhone models are part of this change. Most Pro models will continue to be made in China. With the iPhone 17 expected to launch this September, we'll soon see how Apple explains the new prices. One thing's clear. Apple knows how to make it look like the extra cost is all about innovation, not international politics.